Climate change is a global phenomenon of climate transformation characterized by the changes in the usual climate of the planet that are especially caused by human activities. It also increases the appearance of more violent weather phenomena such as drought, fires, the death of animals and plant species, flooding from rivers and lakes, the creation of climate refuges, and the destruction of the food chain and economic resources, especially in developing countries. Human health is vulnerable to climate change. The changing environment is expected to cause more heat stress, an increase in waterborne diseases, poor air quality, and diseases transmitted by insects and rodents. Extreme weather events can compound many of these health threats. As the effects of climate change become more visible and extreme, they are likely to affect adversely the lives of children and adolescents all over the world. For example, families that lost their livelihood to drought will be less able to afford the costs of schooling or healthcare. Over 99.9% of deaths are already attributable to climate-related changes occur in developing countries, and children make up over 80% of those deaths. Diseases may spread, especially diseases that are threaten children more than adults, such as malaria and diarrhea. These impacts of climate change are already being felt, yet the prospect for the future as projected by the scientific experts are more alarming. The rapid anthropogenic climate change that is being experienced in the early 21st century is intimately entwined with the health and functioning of the biosphere. Climate change is impacting ecosystems through changes in mean conditions and in climate variability, coupled with other associated changes such as increased ocean acidification and atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration. With this, as a resident of our barangay, I encourage all the barangay officials to do some actions that can prevent and eliminate changes and help it to rise again. Let us use the 3 Rs of circular economy, the reduce, reuse, and recycle, to significantly reduce our waste and avoid unnecessary production of new items. Common to the participants in the need to promote tree planting and coastal cleanup activities, which is the most and very important action we can do as member of the society. Some barangay officials bring to light the failure to monitor progress, sustain, and scale up these efforts. It doesn't help that local government have also failed to enforce environmentally sound ordinances in favor of so-called economic interests. So the youth suggested the development of a public inventory of area-specific environmental problems and efforts made to tackle this and to address the disconnect down the line. They recommend institutionalizing environmental education to penetrate household in the village of barangay level.
The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years.
Just come
Dear humans, here lies the consequences of our actions. I don't think enough people realise how big of a crisis this really is. It's not just big organisations who are responsible for this. We all are. This pandemic has shown us how easy it is for our world to fall apart in an instant. Just because we are beginning to win this battle with COVID does not mean our other battles should be forgotten about. I'm guilty for reposting an Instagram story and thinking, yeah, I've played my part in global warming. However, awareness is no longer enough.
Cyclone hit southeastern Africa last week, and the death toll continues to climb as rescue workers sift through debris.
There is so much more each person can do to save our planet without even spending a penny. If every household in the UK turned off their taps whilst brushing their teeth, we would save 7.9 million tonnes of carbon dioxide. Please listen to a man who's dedicated his whole life to this.
If we act now, we can yet put it right.
Degrees, the levels of the seawater are rising exponentially. The earthquakes in Mexico, the polar ice caps, the fires in California. It's an absolute nightmare what's happening. We're burning up our planet.
Solid Waste Management, or SWM, is considered to be one of the most serious environmental issues in the Philippines. The annual waste generation was estimated at 10 million tons in 2010, and this is expected to rise by 40 in 2020. The RA 9003, otherwise known as the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, provides the necessary policy framework, institutional mechanisms, and mandate to the local government unit, or LGUs, to achieve 25% waste reduction through establishing an integrated solid waste management plans based on the 3Rs, to reduce, reuse, and recycle. The most important of all is your responsibility in the barangay under the SWM Act, which is the segregation and collection of solid waste shall be conducted at the barangay level, specifically for the biodegradable, compostable, and reusable waste, provided that the collection of non-recyclable materials and special waste shall be responsibility of the municipality or city. Barangay officials must possess empathy, the ability to inspire strong communication skills, and pride in their community. Effective leaders are problem solvers who involve all members of their teams. They get people work together toward a common goal. They focus on building effectiveness, the ability to get things done. Saving our nature means saving our lives. Let us help each other, starting doing small things. Let us help our environment through our constant stewardship.